mean, it doesn't seem like you're getting any work done. That's the problem.
The strategy is about some kind of love transaction between a parent and a child involving the greatest gift of all.
It stinks.
I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea.
See, this shit is making it where you can't fucking work, so it's pointless, man. We're just trying to get pep in our step. But it's like you're actually high, man.
I don't understand. Is it, Dad, I want this car? Or, son, I bought
That's a
you
good point. It's two different angles, right?
Did you hear about Frank Gleason?
Yeah, his dreams do come true.
God damn.
That's important.
No shit.
Tell him, Peggy. Tell him what a son of a bitch he was.
Man.
I liked him.
Yeah,
Before
fuck
he was
off.
sick? I hate how dying makes saints out of people.
Maybe he was an asshole. I don't know.
He's obviously in a better place.
Yeah, no shit, because you people suck.
Dad, everybody at school has a car but me. Dad, I can only go to college if I have a car.
Two of those are good ideas.
But I got nothing interesting to say because
No,
I'm not on
motherfucker.
drugs.
Get on drugs
Just
then.
flushed the toilet.
Great.
What are you, class secretary? I want to write stuff down so it looks like I'm working.
God damn, man. Motherfucker's just hateful, man. Well, he doesn't seem sick anymore. Look at him, man. He's getting shit done, actually. I'm into it. I'm busy.
Hello, Kenny. How you feeling? My foot's like new. You think you'll have new work on
He's on
Monday?
that shit, ain't he?
Oh, they like me all right.
Look at him. He's on that shit, man.
It's my job to stop a mile from the restaurant so they can have 5 pounds of crab legs and 3 bottles of beer apiece and then go get prime rib. It's my job.
He's on that shit.
Guns, an inch from my ear, and
Can you
laugh when I
imagine
get
seeing this on
stoned.
the page
It's
and you're
my
going to do
job.
this?
Where'd you learn that? My mother.
This actor's amazing. I didn't know he had this in him, man. He's one of the unspoken of backbones. Backbones of the show. I've never talked about this actor before. He's great, man. That's just more an example.
Then she says to the Cheshire Cat, which road do I take?
I know this. Where do you want to go?
I don't know.
Then it doesn't.
Exactly. Brilliant. That doctor got paid today, by the way. You see how many shots he had, how many he's given? You motherfuckers ain't working, are you?
How's it going?
What's going on?
I know you're all feeling the darkness here today, but there's no reason to give in. What you've heard, this process will not take years. In my heart, I know we cannot be defeated.
I like motivated Don.
Because there
Optimistic Don, I should say.
is a way around this system. This is a test
I'm high as
about
fuck.
patience and commitment. Can win someone over.
Dear Lord, you're as good as they say.
Who the fuck are you?
Do you have any idea what the idea is?
No, but I'm not going to stop looking.
Goddamn right.
I think we should order dinner.
Fuck
I
dinner.
don't think I'll ever eat again.
Do what you have to.
This is great, man. This is gonna be on my top 5 list right here. Other than flashbacks. The flashbacks are boring. I don't give a shit. Now we had a Voyage of Discovery the first season or two. None of this is compelling to me. I don't care.
Call me in May, and yes, you can.
At most, what this is doing is explaining his obsession with the wife. Like, he likes a certain type. Whatever. This is why he cheats all the time, I guess. But who cares, man? Like, I don't care.
It was beautiful.
Who the hell is that?
Her name is Wendy. Wendy, this is Don.
Who is she?
Dawn, ask a question.
I'm supposed to be next.
Are you done with
What, they
mine?
bring in another expert?
Think of it. You don't have to say it
Oh,
out loud.
she's on some tarot shit or something. What the fuck?
Frankie Daly has great
Shut up, motherfucker.
No, he's talking about some account.
I did it. I've got 666 ideas.
I'm ready for the devil.
My Saturday with lunatics.
It's Saturday.
Yes, it is. Why don't you lay down
Dude,
a little?
I'm grinding.
You'll know when you see it, and it's going to crack this thing wide open.
Goddamn right. I'm high as fuck, by the way.
You see the mess you made?
Yeah, this is a mess. It's been 3 hours since I just had that conversation.
What are you doing in here?
You said you were going to get some ice, and we were going to have a drink and watch the
God
sun.
damn, man, he is losing time. That's not good.
Stop doing that.
You are really
Is she got a stethoscope? Is that what's happening?
Where'd you get that?
It was upstairs in one of the offices.
Yeah, she's not real, of course. She may have been real in the other room. She's not real in this room.
But I'm on a deadline.
Does someone love me?
This is creepy
The
as fuck.
question was.
I'm
His
just-
wife loves him. I
That's
believe it.
everyone's question.
I don't think that is everyone's question. Some people know they're loved.
I think it's broken.
Yeah, because your heart's beating 100 beats a second.
I can't hear anything.
That can't be right.
You should go.
I'm not trying to be distracted right now. One time ever, he's turned down pussy because she's fake. That's the only way. The only way that would ever happen.
I'm still at work.
I have to leave. I'm
Sally
leaving
can
right now.
babysit.
I'm really sorry.
I watched them last night so you could work, and
I'll
now...
be home in a little bit.
Sally can watch him. What is she, 12, 13?
Like you working so hard, you must be exhausted.
Actually, I've got a
Yeah,
second
man, I
one.
got that shit. And I'm hanging up on you. Go to hell.
Sally, how'd you like to earn some boots to go with that skirt?
She's into it.
Going to leave us with her again?
I'm really sorry.
No, we don't. She's a tyrant, man. I'm trying to get my boots. Shut the fuck up.
Why do you want to do a play?
Because it's awesome.
You're on TV every day. Don't they know that?
Shit, you must be hungry.
Hey, the captions use that shit. They said that one. I thought captions didn't like cuss words.
We're not hungry.
Okay, but go make Gene a peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, Gene exists. That's right.
Come on, that thing's twice the size of a real apple.
You gotta
Step
be out
right
of your
up.
fucking mind.
Hold on a second, one at a time. Everybody will get a chance.
You're pretentious, you know
This
that?
is a bad idea.
I'm gonna do it.
Fine, but I'm gonna go first. Because you're drunk. In fact,
I think you're all drunk and or high.
building who's not out of his mind.
But you hate me.
Yeah.
Don't hit his eye.
Don't hit anything.
Dude, put your blindfold back on. God damn, man!
Ah, crap.
And I've done that before.
Jesus Christ, man. Fuck this game.
Come on, you gotta watch this.
At least they know about infection. Jesus Christ, man. Enough. Yeah. Yes, they said this shit's proprietary. They don't want to explain what's actually in it because I think this is probably horse shit. But who knows? Like, yeah, they were doing some wild shit in the 60s. Really? You got time for this? Are you fucking serious? This motherfucker knocked on this goddamn door. Hope that doctor catches him and kicks his ass. I paused to refresh my drink and everything, so I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit. When I say Betty and the kids don't really have anything to do, like there's a difference between we are contractually obligated to keep these characters in the TV show, and like we don't necessarily want to kill them off because maybe that's too dark. There's no, we don't want to get rid of them, and we're just in some cases we're just contractually obligated. The buyout, buying them out, killing them off and buying them out would be too expensive, so they have to be on the show. For instance, Kim in 24. Season 3 especially, probably season 2, but I think in season 2 they didn't really realize this yet. You kind of get into it. She was a crucial part of season 1. Season 2, they kind of didn't realize until they got through the season that she wasn't really relevant. Her plot lines were stupid. They were forced. Season 3 was a real issue. I guess she was too expensive to buy her out. They would have not had that actress, but they also wouldn't have been able to bring in other people to replace the hole she left. Because if they bought her out, like you have a budget, right? So none of her storylines had anything to do with anything, right? The whole being stalked by a cougar or a panther, whatever that was, that became a TV trope category. They just, they're contractually obligated, so they force stories down our throat that have nothing to do with anything. They're boring or, just tedious or just don't, they're not related to the rest of the plot. So there's that. Then there is either my plot is going to affect your plot at some point. Like we're both, kind of Stranger Things, this is what they do on Stranger Things. We have separate plots, but eventually at the end of the season, those plots collide. We're working on half the problem, you're working on half the problem, we're separate, we don't really interact much, we're not crossing paths very much. At the end it collides. Westworld's also this. You have the different robots in the first couple seasons doing different things. Eventually they cross paths. Eventually they affect each other. It wasn't obvious at first what the hell is the point of this, but then when you rewatch it, you realize this is what eventually they're gonna cross paths. They're doing their own thing. So you have that. Then you just have maybe it's thematically connected. Maybe they never actually cross paths, or maybe they live in the same house but they have separate adventures. But the adventures are thematically connected. Like for instance, maybe it's about reconnecting with your past. And so my adventure is reconnecting with my past in a certain way. Your adventure is reconnecting with your past in a certain way. On the surface, it looks like the two plots have nothing to do with each other, but they're thematically connected. Typically, the A story and the B story of sitcoms are like this. If they don't cross paths, at least they're thematically connected. And dramas as well can be this way. You know, it's like, it's if the theme of the episode is dishonesty, then you're both dealing with dishonesty in various ways. Maybe one of you's the one being dishonest, the other one is one being dishonest too, right? So it can be connected in that way. Or the final category is we're not contractually obligated. There is no thematic connection. We don't cross paths. One plot doesn't affect the other. But these are interesting stories, so we're going to tell them. Like, we're having our own interesting story over here. You're having your own interesting story over there. And in a way, like, a lot of times, like, maybe Sex and the City, some of these, like, large casts, you know, ensemble cast situations where there's 8 to 12 characters on a show. Lost, for instance. Now, they could do a lot of thematic connections, maybe. But, you know, and a lot of, like, eventually, they're, you know, in a season, their stories will interact with each other, right? But sometimes it's just an interesting story. Maybe there's a flash forward on Lost that has no thematic connection to something happening 3 years ago. But it's an interesting story. 3 years ago is an interesting story. There is no cause and effect. They don't affect each other. There's no thematic connection, but they're two interesting stories. You can say the final season of Lost was like that with the Flash Sideways. It ultimately had a point. There probably were thematic connections, but some people would argue, I'm not one of them, but some people would argue those were interesting stories being told, so they were worth it just for that. Of all these categories, I think it's probably either 1 or 4. Maybe they're just tied to a contract with Sally and Betty, probably those two specifically, because they're the two biggest characters. They just didn't want to get out of the contracts. You know, for some reason, because, you know, you could see why. They had some very interesting stories in earlier seasons. But now we're towards the end of the series. They're tied in these contracts. They don't want to buy them out. It would feel weird if you just get rid of them. If Betty dies, that would have such an impact on Don, you don't want to deal with it. But you also just don't want to have it be off screen all the time. Like, you know, maybe you feel a sense of loyalty on a personal level to an actor. You don't want to just get rid of the fucking actor. So it could be contractual obligation, or it could be they think that these are interesting stories they're telling. And sometimes the kids having to come to his house can affect him, like in this episode. It affects him that they're here. They're not having their own shit at their house 30 miles away that has no impact on what he's doing, which has been some episodes. So that's why, for that reason alone, you want to keep the kids around and the child actors around, and of course Betty, because, like, there's nothing. You let them out of their contracts, they do other shit. When you need them to come back to affect Don, you can't bring back the Sally actress because she's on another show. So you got to keep her under contract, and you have to use her if she's under contract. So you have these sideline stories that are just as not entertaining as they used to be, but you keep her for episodes like this one where it actually matters that Don is fucking off at work for so long. It creates tension between him and his wife that he's not here to watch the kids. So it's a major part of what you're trying to do. You need these actors to be available so you keep them under contract. It doesn't matter. You can replace the Bobby and Jean actors. That doesn't matter. But you need to keep the Sally actress. You need to keep the Betty actress, right? I think it's that. I think it's a contractual obligation, the fact that you need them in future plot lines. So you just have them spinning their wheels on separate-ass stories sometimes. Not this episode, but in previous episodes. Because like I said, like, it's just, Sally's not been interesting all season. They haven't done anything with her. You could argue most of season 5 is the same way. Same with Betty. And I can't remember if it was season 4 or season 5 that the Betty actress was pregnant, so she was out. So that was one reason she was out a lot. But it just feels like they're being underutilized, and when they are utilized, it's not that interesting. So I don't know. It's not a problem. I'm not complaining. I'm just observing. And I'm also speculating. I'm just curious which one it was. Like, I'd love to be in these meetings and find out, okay, we want to keep her under contract because at the end of season 6, in the middle of season 7, him having a family is going to be a real pain in the ass. It's going to really motivate the story. So until then, spin our wheels. I don't know.